Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. I am going to try to record today. I'm not sure how it's going to go because this is the week that I have finally had the Rona. The COVID, it has hit me. I have barely talked this week, and it's potential that talking for a video will make me start coughing. We'll see how it goes. But I've been wanting to film this video for a little while about all the spreadsheets that I use. So I am going to see how this goes today. I have created some spreadsheets of my own, and I use a spreadsheet for tracking my reading, and I just thought it might be interesting to nerd out with you for a few minutes and just kind of show you all of my spreadsheets. You may be rolling your eyes at me, and that's okay, but I have found systems that work for me and have added to them over the course of the last few years, and thought I might bring you along to kind of give you a glimpse into my reading world. I do have a reading journal that I don't use, and the reason that I don't use it is because I use my spreadsheets instead. So I thought I would show you my spreadsheets. The first spreadsheet that I'm going to show you is the one that I did not create myself. So I'm just going to share my screen here, make myself small somewhere on the screen, and talk through them with you. This is the spreadsheet that I receive as a patron for Currently Reading Podcasts. So I'm not going to go into detail here because Katie, one of the hosts there, and I think some helpers this year, created this very in-depth spreadsheet that I have made my own. I definitely hide things on here. So you can see it starts at number 57 because once the month is all complete and I've filled out everything, I hide it. So I do change the colors. So this is all April, this yellow, and I just kind of go through the fill settings here. I go through, so January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and then I just repeat. So I use that when I'm sorting so that at the end of the year I can make sure it matches up with my Goodreads, and if there's something missing I can figure out where it is. So this just has, the basics: title, author, artist, for our narrator for audiobooks, all kinds of things on here that I track. I'm not going to show you all of it, but you can see there's like a lot of rows hidden. So this goes from W to AI. So there's a lot of rows in there that I have hidden. Let me close that. There's a few other things that I've just hidden that I just don't care about. But then that allows me, they've created this so that it gives me stats and charts and all that fancy stuff. So this is where the fancy ends. So I'm going to close this spreadsheet because this is just strictly a list of all the books that I've read this year. And I am into August here. I've only filled out like the author and the title, and then I try to remember if I read it on Scribd to make note of that. So yeah, that's the only thing I filled out so far for August. I'm a little bit behind. Clearly, look at all of July is not filled out, and in some of June. So I have to catch up a little bit on that one, but that's okay. Then these last ones are spreadsheets that I have created myself. This first one is called BookTube Recommends. So way back in, I think the first one is 2019, I asked you all to give me a book recommendation at the beginning of the year. That is what I put on one of my TBR carts, all the books that you have recommended to me, and I keep track. So I have down here at the bottom, you could see 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and then this year is at the forefront, 2023. So this year's color is blue. Each year I use a different color to mark. So let's just go back, say, to 2020. 2020 was pink. And each year I go in and continue to mark off. The dark gray ones are books that I have unhauled since then. But yeah, so here I read Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet this year. So that's blue. I keep track for each of the years. So if I go back to 2019, I think there are only like 5 or 6 books that I haven't yet read. 1000 White Women. Oops. Bellwether. Fox. House at Tyneford. My Name is Mary Sutter, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 books that I haven't yet read from 2019. So that's pretty good. It's forcing me to, I mean, it doesn't force me to do anything. I read what I want, but it's kind of cool to see how long it's taking me to get through these lists. But I like having them. So 2023, I've added in, I think in 2021, I added, did I do it in 2020? Yeah. In 2021, I added this column of rating. So at the beginning of the year, when I make the spreadsheet, after I've gotten all the recommendations, I put who recommended it. So if there's a lot of people that recommended it, I shade it gray because I want to try to get to those ones quicker. It doesn't always happen. But yeah, I've added this column of the ratings so that I can sort by rating if I want to. So I am able to sort and see what are the highest rated books. I did that with all of the rest of the spreadsheets. Now I have that rating on there. So this year I'm doing pretty good. You'll see lots of blue with the list I have for this year. Lots of white too, but that will get filled in over the next few years. Because I didn't want to have separate spreadsheets, I just added tabs to this spreadsheet. So I've added in here all of my book of the month books. And I just recently did this when we did Catch Up-a-thon. I made a spreadsheet because I wanted to know ratings for the books on my shelves. And I also wanted to know page count so that I could find my shortest book. So I did create just a very simple title, author, date, when it was published, and then page count. So I could see for different challenges and whatnot, what book of the month books I have. So I did receive my August books. I do need to add them. I haven't done that yet. And then you can see from my last try chapter, I'm unhauling those ones at the bottom. I've also added a tab down here for my Christmas book exchange books. Every year at Christmas, I do a book exchange with my BookTube besties, Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand, Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library, Amanda from The Curly Reader, and I exchange books. I think I did this last year. I think I started the spreadsheet last year where I just, again, put the rating and the title. I put the author, who gave it to me, and what year I was given. So I could sort by year and see how many I still need to read from that year. And because I have colors for what year I read it, I just put everything beyond. So 2022 is purple. This year is blue. Anything older than that, I just made this beige color just because I couldn't remember when I read it. But yeah, so you can see I've unhauled a couple from try chapter tags and different things, and I haven't read very many this year. Oh, here's a couple I've read. I have read some. Not very many Christmas books yet. Yikes. And then also on here, I've added a shelf or a spreadsheet for the Newbery books. So my Newbery books live up on the top of my bookshelves, and I have since collected them all. And I was originally making this spreadsheet so I could see which ones I have and which ones I still need. Now that I have all of them, it is more of a tracker for reading them all, because that is the end game, is to read all the Newbery winners. So I have them all just by date. I don't have the rating of these ones because I don't care. I just have them by date. The oldest is 1922, and it goes all the way down until this year's, which is Free Water, which I have read. So I can kind of see, like, I've read all the newest. 2012 is the first one that I haven't read. But yeah, I've read a lot of the newer ones and then not so much of the older ones. But it's kind of cool for me to just have a visual. I'm very visual, so I love seeing what I've worked on, what I haven't done. I love having the different colors so I can tell from year to year what I'm reading, how much I'm reading. I love it. I love it. So yeah, that's this spreadsheet. BookTube recommends. Has a couple different things. And then I also 3 years ago started including on my channel anticipated reads, and quarterly I make a video telling what books are coming out over the next few years. And I have started doing the same thing where I track the book. This helps me when I'm making the video. First of all, I make my list of books and of titles, authors, who's publishing it, when it's coming out. And then I also keep track of, have I requested this on NetGalley and received it? Have I requested it from the library? And then I do have a place for a summary so that when it's time for me to do my video, I just can refer to my spreadsheet. So I've done pretty good with the beginning of 2021 anticipated reads. I haven't looked at this in a while. I might need to update a little. I don't think so. And then last year's, I read quite a few from last year as well. And then, the light gray ones are ones that I now own, but haven't yet read. They'll turn color once I read them. And then this year, I have not been doing good with reading them at all. So, but I have been starting to collect some of them. So some of them are gray because I have them now. Oh, there, I read Lonely Hearts Book Club. I'm starting A Girl Called Samson today, so that's going to get read. Oh, I own Homecoming now. Someone sent that to me, so I can turn that gray. Let's do this. Is that the right gray? Yep. And I also own Mastering the Art of French Murder because that came in my Once Upon a Book Club box. What am I doing? Gray. I just bought No Two Persons from Pango. All right, there we go. I think I'm all caught up. I own The Spectacular from Book of the Month. I'm really good at collecting them, not so much at reading them. I'm currently reading The Last Lifeboat. That'll get marked off as well. And then, so here's my current list. I have not yet started October, November, and December of this year, other than the Jamie Jo Wright book that's coming out in October. So that will get filled in for the fourth quarter of this year. And then, you could see down here publisher addresses. Once upon a time, I thought that I would write to publishers and request books from them, ARCs from them, and I just don't do that. So when I started the spreadsheet, I thought that that's what I would do, but it's not. Because clearly, I'm not even reading the ones that I have from NetGalley. Look at yes, 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 yes. I think the capital yes are the ones I have requested but not heard from yet, but I haven't updated that. But many of these I have on NetGalley and still I don't read them. And then my final spreadsheet is Patron recommendations, and I do need to update this one, but every month some of my patrons recommend books to me, and I started keeping track of the ones that I've read and what they've recommended. So I need to update it because I haven't updated in a little while, but that's been a lot of fun. And then I shared that with them at the end of the year. I think at the end of the year last year. But yeah, this is the one that I use the most, the BookTube recommends, because it has all those other ones on there as well. So you will be seeing me refer to this very soon in my 5-star predictions, because I've decided to use my spreadsheets to help me pick books for my 5-star predictions. And that is it. That is all my spreadsheets and how I use them. Are you a spreadsheet person, or are you more of a journal person? Do you keep lists somewhere? I do not have a full spreadsheet of all of my TBR because I do that on Goodreads. I keep an owned TBR list on Goodreads. And then when I unhaul stuff, it's easy for me to take it off from there, but I often forget to take it off from there. So at some point I should probably do a refresh of my Goodreads, but that is a daunting project. It's a daunting project. I think first, maybe I need to do a little bit of an unhaul, but I don't have a spreadsheet for my full TBR. It's just these kind of niche little pockets of my TBR, like the Newbery and my Christmas books and my recommended books. So I enjoy it. It's what works for me. So I hope that you enjoyed getting a little glimpse into my nerdiness and how I track different things with reading. Let me know if you have any questions about these spreadsheets. I mean, they're very basic, very simple spreadsheets. I simply use Google Sheets. And so they're all kind of on the internet, and that's it. let's chat about spreadsheets or other nerdy things down in the comments below. I always love talking to you down there. Sorry for my voice today. It is what it is. I'm thrilled that I even made it through this video, and I look forward to chatting with you in another video very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.